Today we're comparing the Dragon Ball Super anime versus the Dragon Ball Super manga. If you're caught up with the anime, no worries, there won't be any spoilers because the manga is actually far behind the anime. The manga just finished the Future Trunks arc and is only now beginning the Tournament of Power arc, but they did some things differently, some better, some worse, and I thought you guys would like to know, so here we go. In general, the Dragon Ball Super manga is very abridged. They skip a lot of details because the manga is far behind the anime, and this was always the case. Sometimes the manga has a rushed feel to it, but also the anime can drag itself sometimes, showcasing characters that are not as interesting as the main ones, or having full episodes that are simply filler. Well, let's start from the beginning, the God of Destruction arc. The God of Destruction's brother, Champa, who is the God of Destruction from Universe 6, he shows up right on the second chapter of the manga, while the anime waits several arcs to introduce Champa and the idea of multiple universes. The manga has Champa show up right on chapter 2, and what was he doing, you ask? He was sneaking into Universe 7 while Beerus was distracted looking for the Super Saiyan God to steal the Universe 7 Super Dragon Balls, something that the anime only acknowledges once again in the Universe 6 arc, so much later in the game. But this is not just a matter of timing, it's actually very important because it's related to the Supreme Kai. As you might remember, in Dragon Ball Z, the Supreme Kai and Kibito had fused using the Potara. You know, the little earrings they use for fusions that you probably know from Vegito? So this fusion was supposed to be permanent, and when they saw Champa looking for Dragon Balls, they initially thought they were looking for the Namekian Dragon Balls. So the Supreme Kai went and gathered them to keep them hidden away from Champa. When they found out that the Dragon Balls they were looking for were not the Namekian Dragon Balls, but something else entirely, they decided to use the Dragon Balls to undo the fusion. The anime mentions that they used the Namekian Dragon Balls in the Universe 6 arc, but it feels a bit forced, as they don't really have a reason behind it. It just sounds like they felt like splitting up, so they searched for the Dragon Balls for that purpose and simply had nothing better to do. Other than that, there are a few smaller differences in this arc, but I'd say the most shocking one is how fast the Super Saiyan God transformation happens. Oh my god. They go from learning how to do it from Shenron to Super Saiyan God in just 5 squares. So the reluctance of Vegeta having to help Goku to surpass him in power, it wasn't captured. Goku not wanting to get stronger with the help of others but wanting to do everything himself, that also wasn't captured. All of it was skipped. And that just shows how much the manga wanted to catch up with the anime. Moving on to the next arc, Golden Frieza. There is no Golden Frieza arc in the Dragon Ball manga. Apparently this was done so the manga could somehow catch up to the anime because the pace of the anime was just far superior to the manga. Needless to say, it still hasn't caught up. There was a separate manga created to promote the Resurrection of F movie, but only 3 chapters ever came out and the manga was never finished. Now this doesn't mean that Golden Frieza didn't happen in the Dragon Ball Super manga universe, it simply wasn't shown. After the fight between Goku and Beerus, we see Goku and Vegeta training under Whis. They're already able to go Super Saiyan Blue, and then they mention the fight with Frieza, acknowledging that it happened, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. It happened, but they didn't show it. The next arc was the Universe 6 arc, the tournament between Universe 6 and 7. No big differences there. This is probably where the anime and the manga are closest. This is of course when the anime decided to reveal that the Supreme Kai used the Namekian Dragon Balls to revert the fusion. You guys might also remember that there was a written test before the contestants could enter the tournament. Majin Buu failed the exam because he fell asleep in the anime, while in the manga he just plainly failed the exam. He didn't even write his name correctly. The manga was also able to clear up something that had me confused in the anime for a long time, which was the Super Saiyan Red for Goku. He originally achieved that form with the help of his friends, but he never did it again, so I thought he wasn't able to use it, or that the Super Saiyan Blue wasn't as powerful as the Super Saiyan God, because the one with the red hair was the true God form. And I was dead wrong. Super Saiyan God is just the step before Super Saiyan Blue, and Goku in the manga used the Super Saiyan Red form in his fight against Hit. He didn't want to waste stamina while figuring out how Hit was fighting, so he used that form. Also, remember the Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Kamehameha? Never happened. Remember, there was no Golden Frieza in the manga, so the fight against Hit was actually the first time we saw Super Saiyan Blue at full power in the manga. In the anime, however, the Frieza fight had already happened, we had already seen Super Saiyan Blue, and I guess the writers felt the need to introduce something new, I guess? Something that now has even made it into Dragon Ball FighterZ, but in the Dragon Ball manga, so far, Goku has never used that move. And finally, we have the Future Trunks arc, which is significantly different from the anime. As you may remember, the Supreme Kai and the God of Destruction are connected. If one dies, so does the other. The anime mentions this, but the manga has a much better reason for it. When Future Trunks comes to the past asking for help, Goku and Vegeta ask if it was Majin Buu that destroyed the Earth this time. But no, turns out they defeated Babidi and Dabura, so Majin Buu was never even born. And the anime does show off this fight between Future Trunks and those two characters, but it doesn't seem like he had much trouble with it. In the manga, however, Trunks fought those same guys alongside the Supreme Kai, and the Supreme Kai ended up dying in that same fight. Since the Supreme Kai died, that means the Future Trunks universe has lost its God of Destruction, which was the whole reason why Zamasu chose that universe. Zamasu was traveling between parallel universes looking for a place without a Goku or a God of Destruction, and that's why he chose that particular universe to rule. In the anime, it sounds like he just kind of arrived there, chose that universe randomly, I don't know. Also, when Trunks comes to Earth to ask for help, and Bulma, she says that, oh, it's gonna take a full day for me to get fuel for your time machine, he ends up playing Dragon Ball Kart. It's not a big deal, I just thought it was funny. Before the Earth Warriors even go to the future, they figure out the true identity of Goku Black. They also figured out that Zamasu had used the Dragon Balls to obtain Goku's body. They didn't really need Goku Black to explain that whole thing. And after they go to the future, they do come back once, but Goku Black doesn't travel back in time. That was just confusing. Now, in the final showdown between the Earth's Warriors and Goku Black, a lot of stuff went differently about that fight. For instance, Vegeta, having witnessed Goku's strategy of going Super Saiyan God when he fought against Hit, he did the same against Goku Black, but he did it so much better. Apparently, right before he landed a hit, he was turning into Super Saiyan Blue, and then turning back to Super Saiyan God, and he was able to preserve his stamina that way. And this is something that Goku never mastered. Also, Vegeta, with red hair, to this day, we haven't seen that in the anime. Goku also came up with a new strategy to get stronger, and Vegeta called it completing the Super Saiyan Blue. You see, everyone knows that Super Saiyan Blue is very powerful, but it's also very demanding on your stamina. Goku was able to absorb this power of the Super Saiyan Blue into his own body, thus controlling it and not spending as much stamina fighting. And that's why he has no aura in these images. However, that does take a toll on the body itself, which in a way kinda sounds like running out of stamina to me. So in the end, maybe not that big of a deal. Next, what does Trunks do? Oh, Super Saiyan Rage? Never happened. Spirit Bomb on your sword? Never happened. He did cut Zamasu in half, but it wasn't with a Spirit Bomb sword. He does, however, have a special power that the anime didn't showcase. You see, when preparing for the fight against Dabura and Babidi, the Supreme Kai made Trunks his apprentice, and every single Supreme Kai apprentice can use healing energy. They can heal wounds, they can restore stamina to other people. They are basically a living senzu bean. So when they ran out of senzu beans, that's exactly what Trunks did. To back up Goku and Vegeta, he never became more powerful than them, but he became the ultimate support fighter. What else? Oh, Goku and Vegeta both used techniques that never showed up in the anime because Zamasu was immortal. He couldn't be killed through normal means. Now, Goku tried the Mafuda technique, the sealing one, you know, but that also failed, just like the anime. But then Goku, he saw how Beerus killed Zamasu in the original universe with a technique called Destroy or something. He somehow learned that technique and used it against Zamasu in the manga, something he could never do in the anime. He used the God of Destruction technique. And Vegeta, he seems that he has a new ultimate attack called the Gamma Burst Flash. When I read this one, it sounded familiar, so I'm sorry if it is in the anime, I just don't remember and I can't find it. But just in case it is not, Vegeta has a new move. It's called Gamma Burst Flash, and it's just the Super Saiyan Blue version of the Final Flash, basically. And finally, the end of this arc is kind of different from the anime. You see, Zamasu never really turns into a freak, into a mutant, because only half of his body is immortal. Instead, if you chop off one of his limbs, an arm for instance, he fully regenerates that arm into a full being. Basically, he can clone himself to no end. So when the Z-Warriors were getting overwhelmed by the sheer numbers, then Goku summoned Zeno, just like the anime, with a little button, and Zeno wiped the entire universe. But there wasn't any weird kind of monster in the sky covering the whole thing, or a deformed Zamasu. It was a bit more straightforward. He did lose his mind at some point, but it wasn't as crazy as the anime made him to be. And to be honest, I like Goku Black and Zamasu better as a villain now that I've read the manga, because in the anime I wasn't really a fan. There are definitely a lot of things that I like better about the anime, but I think they kind of screwed it up with the Future Trunks arc. And those were the biggest differences I was able to spot. Let me know if I missed anything important. Also, which one do you think sounds better? Future Trunks arc from the anime or Future Trunks arc from the manga? You know my opinion. I would love to know yours. If you're excited for Dragon Ball FighterZ, here's a video with all the confirmed stages, as well as some of the stuff we'd like to see in the final game. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also this video right here. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.